Okay, we're going to do an example. We're going to solve a first degree equation in one variable. And we're going to identify it as either an identity, a contradiction, or a conditional equation. The problem is 0.4 times parenthesis z plus 1 minus 0.7 times z equals negative 0.1 times z plus 0.7 minus 0.2 z minus 0.3. Solution. We'll do this in 4 steps. In the first step, we'll eliminate fractions or decimals. Well, we have decimals here, so to get rid of them, we check each of the decimals and ask ourselves which one requires the most move, the largest number of moves of the decimal to make it into a whole number. It looks like every one of these decimals require the same number of moves, one move to the right, to make them into a whole number. If there were some that required more moves to the right, we would choose to move all of them, the largest quantity of moves, to make them all whole numbers. So here we're just going to move all of our decimals one move to the right. That's the same as multiplying both sides by 10. So we're going to go one move to the right here, one move to the right here, 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 and here. In other words, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 10, because that's the same as moving your decimal one move to the right. Okay, that makes our equation just 4 parentheses z plus 1 minus 7 times z equals negative 1 times z is negative z plus 7 minus 2 times z minus 3. Now, before we go any further, we might as well clean up the right side. We have some like terms that we can combine. Let's do that now. 4 times z plus 1 minus 7z equals, we have a negative z and a negative 2z. Together that gives me negative 3z. We have a positive 7 minus 3. That equals, let's see, that makes a positive 4. Okay, we cleaned up by combining like terms. Let's go to step 2. For step 2, we need to eliminate the parentheses. And we're going to do that by distributing multiplication inside these parentheses. So we get 4 times z plus 4 times 1 is 4 minus 7z. Bring down the equal sign, bring down negative 3z, bring down plus 4. And over here on the left, let's combine our like terms. We have 4z minus 7z. 4 minus 7 is negative 3 times z. Bring down the plus 4, bring down the equal sign, bring down the right side. Okay, the next step, step 3, is to isolate the x term. In this case, it's the z term. So we want to get everything containing z alone on one side. So let's do that by adding the 3z to both sides. Let's add 3z to this side and add 3z to this side in an attempt to move the 3z's on one side. These guys are going to cancel on both sides, actually, and it's going to leave us 4 equals 4. And at this point, I can't even do the last step, eliminate the coefficient, because I lost my coefficient. So I go, lost the variable. Now if I lose a variable, I'm stuck. So I'm stuck at the expression 4 equals 4. This expression, 4 equals 4, is always true. So we got stuck at a statement that's always true. So we're going to draw a conclusion, and this conclusion is based on definitions on page in your section 1.1 of your textbook. We see at the bottom of page 54, a conditional equation is an equation that is true for some values of the variable and false for other values. That's where you get a finite number of solutions. And then we see the definition that says an equation that is false for every value of the variable is called contradiction. That would be if you got no solutions. And the last one is an equation that's satisfied for every choice of the variable for any number is called an identity. So if you get stuck at a statement that's always true, that implies there are infinitely many solutions. And having infinitely many solutions, that implies that your equation that you just tried to solve is called an identity. On the other hand, if you had been stuck at a statement that's never true, instead of 4 equals 4, if you had like 0 equals negative 3, that would be called a contradiction. If you had ended up with z equals some finite number, quantity of answers, like z equals 3, or whatever, if you got a number for your answer, at least one number, then you could say that this is called a conditional equation. So those are your three choices: conditional equation, contradiction, and identity. And this one is an identity.